Ladies and gents, this is my weekly rotation review. I have some stunning fragrances to go through today, and all these are fantastic. Stay tuned. What is good, YouTube? Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. That is right, today I'm going to be talking about the fragrances that I wore last week. So this is my rotation review. To me, all these are great fragrances. I'm just going to put it out there right now. I don't intend to wear crappy fragrances. Like, every fragrance I try and pick up or buy or own, to me, are great scents. These 7, you can't go wrong with any of them. Monday, I wanted to start the week off. I needed a little bit of a masculine vibe, and I gravitated towards bodija from the house of Tom Ford. What a classy, stunning fragrance this is. If you like fougere fragrances and you haven't got your nose on this fragrance yet, you will love this. Let me just spray it and then go over the notes and I'll just talk about it quickly. And you have to appreciate lavender to like this fragrance. You've got lavender, Provence lavender, African rosemary, geranium, oak moss, basil, patchouli, amber, woodsy notes and musk. Full on lavender blast when this opens up. And there is some freshness to this fragrance. And I know lavender can give off that sort of aromatic, fresh vibe. But I think there's some type of citrus in this fragrance. It's not listed in the note breakdown, but I definitely get like this slight, fresh, citrusy undertone. And I don't know where that's coming from. Once this fragrance, after a couple of minutes, once this fragrance starts calming down, that is when like this herbal nuance comes in. You get green touches, you get a woodsy nuance, and then it starts drying down a little bit more, and then the fragrance starts turning a little bit musky and earthy. The oak moss, I don't know if that's, and the patchouli, I know the patchouli's adding towards the earthy side of the fragrance, but I don't know if the oak moss is adding a little bit towards that. Plus, I get an ever so faint touch of leather, and there's no leather listed in the note breakdown either, or suede, but there's definitely something there just lurking way in the back. And I get that in the mid, but once I get to the late dry down, I can't really detect it anymore, so I don't know what that is. But overall, this is a stunning fragrance. This has a classy edge to it. If you wear a suit to work, or you're going to a wedding, or you're going to a party and you're dressed up to the nines, and you're rocking this fragrance, they go hand in hand. But I rock this round the house, so wear what you want when you want. If you enjoy the scent profile of a fragrance, don't wait until you, for an occasion, just rock it. Just pick it up and spray it because you own it. Just wear it. And that is what I do with all my fragrances. I don't look at a fragrance and think, I'm not dressed up for that today, so I'll leave it. If I want to wear it, I'm going to rock it. And I must say quickly, I don't detect any amber in this. I don't know if it's just a supporting note, but there is an underlying sweetness to this fragrance. Like, not semi-sweet, not sickly sweet, but there is a faint touch of sweetness in this fragrance. And maybe that's the amber, but overall, great scent. And that is what I wore Monday. This is straight up masculine. Tuesday, I had a sweet tooth. So I wanted to wear a fragrance that was sweet. This is not sickly sweet, but it does have a nice dose of sweetness. And it is coming from the house of Paco Rabanne, and it is Invictus Platinum. I think this fragrance smells great, and this lasts on me. Like, I get great longevity with this fragrance. I'm talking 7 to 9 hours. Seriously, and that is no joke. Like, and the projection for the first couple of hours, this just works on my skin. Let me just spray it. Right, you got absinthe, grapefruit, mint, lavender, cypress, and patchouli. This is not a complex fragrance, but man, this smells good. It's sweet, a little bit spicy. You get that grapefruit and it comes across ever so slightly bitter. But you've got the absinthe as well, which I think adds a little bit towards that bitterness. Plus, I think the absinthe sort of pushes some sweetness into the fragrance, because straight out the gate, this does open up sweet. Once you start getting into the mid, you get the mint and the lavender, and it adds this sort of fresh aromatic quality. And then as the fragrance dries down a little bit more, the patchouli and the cypress start coming through, and you get this woodsy nuance. So it's a little bit green, aromatic, fresh, sweet. And then by then, once you get into the mid, the grapefruit is sort of worn off, but there is still the freshness in the fragrance. Like I say, this performs on my skin. I can put this on in the morning, say at 9 o'clock, and then by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I can still get faint whiffs of it on my skin, and on clothes, it is on there till the next day, easy. This is a great smelling scent, and now you can pick this up for a great price. I don't think it's completely juvenile, because it don't go full on bubblegummy sweet. So I think if you're sort of in your late teens to sort of 40 to 45, I think you could wear this or pull this fragrance off. But I'm going to say it again, wear what you want, when you want. Who cares what anybody thinks, because I don't. If I like a fragrance that people hate, yeah, I don't intend to choke people out. But if I like the scent profile, I am going to wear it. And Tuesday, I went with Paco Rabanne Invictus Platinum. Wednesday, I needed my iris fixed, or oris, however you want to pronounce it, potato patata. And this fragrance I have mentioned in a few reviews lately. I just cannot get enough of this fragrance, and I did rock it on Wednesday, so I had to put it in this list. It is coming from the house of Carolina Herrera, and it is CH Passion for him. What a great designer release this is. Like, this is up there at the minute with some of the best releases of this year. The quality of this juice for a designer fragrance, and I don't, when I say for a designer, I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying, because obviously you got the quality of niche fragrances and you got quality for designer fragrances, and this is a great quality designer fragrance. Great atomizer. Right, you got amberwood, iris, Australian sandalwood, bourbon vanilla, frankincense, myrrh, pink pepper, Texas cedar, woodsy notes, tonka bean, and neroli from Tunisia. Oh, full on pepper and spice when this first opens up. Like on that initial blast, it is spicy. Alongside the vanilla, which comes across semi-sweet, and then boom, you get woodsy notes as well straight away. After a couple of minutes, you get this smoky, incensey, balsamic touch from the frankincense and the myrrh, and then the fragrance starts turning a little bit powdery from the iris. And the iris in this faintly leans towards the lipsticky side, but it's more powdery, like, and sometimes I even think it's straight in the middle, like it doesn't go venture too far either way. But sometimes when I wear this, it is more powdery and I can't really pick up the lipsticky nuance, and sometimes I can pick up the lipsticky nuance, so straight down the middle. And then you get this creamy facet. The neroli adds, like, I couldn't detect that it's really neroli. It just adds a freshness to the fragrance, and I think it needs that because this has got quite heavy notes in it. Like, you've got the myrrh, the frankincense, so it's got quite heavy notes in it. It just works, and I love the way this smells. Like, this is a solid fragrance. If you like incensey, semi-sweet, vanillic, iris fragrances, you will love this scent. My only gripe with it is that I don't get great longevity with it. I think 5 to 6 hours, that's on a good day. Sometimes it's gone a little bit over the 6 hour mark, but scent profile wise, it makes it up. So Wednesday, I went with CH Passion from Carolina Herrera. Stunner. Thursday, it was warming up in England and I thought, right, I'm going to pull this bad boy out, and it is coming from the house of BDK, and it is Citrus Riviera. This is a great fragrance. Let me just spray this. Hang on. Look at the atomizers on these bottles, pressurized, and they're gorgeous, stunning bottles as well. Look at them. Smart, simplistic, but they look great. Oh, right, you've got Italian mandarin orange, Italian lemon, fig, Moroccan neroli, jasmine, eucalyptus, strawberry, immortelle, Moroccan orange blossom, absolute, tonka bean, patchouli, white musk, and Haitian vetiver. Initial blast, you get that mandarin orange, but then after a minute or so, that lemon and neroli oversteps that orange, and it comes across a little bit bitter, like it's got a bit of bite to it, that lemon has, like there's a little bit of zest there. And then a couple of minutes goes by, in comes the fig and the eucalyptus, which adds this soft green touch. And then the fragrance dries down for another couple of minutes, then you start getting this woodsy undertone. I do not pick up any strawberry in this fragrance. I do get this earthy touch, like this fragrance does have an earthy side to it. And as it dries down more and more, that vetiver shows its face. But when I first started wearing this, I didn't realise it was vetiver. I just thought woods, because it is literally just like a woodsy nuance. And that stays basically through the life of the fragrance. You do get a touch of white florals in this, and they just whisper through all the notes. Like, this doesn't come across floral heavy, but you can tell that there is some white florals in there, and everything's just blended. Like the craftsmanship of this juice, like nothing really jumps out too much. You do pick up on the notes, but everything just like it goes into one phase, then goes into another phase, and it just works perfect. And this is great for warmer or hotter days. I failed to mention, in Citrus Riviera, you do get the musks. Like, this does have a musky edge. As it dries down more and more, then musks start creeping in, and it never becomes musk heavy, but you can tell that there is a little bit of musk to this fragrance, and it just wraps around the other notes and it works perfect. And so Thursday I rocked Citrus Riviera, and this is a unisex fragrance. And the longevity, sometimes I get 6 hours, sometimes I've got 7.5 hours. So it varies. So I'm going to say between 6 and 8 hours, because it's not beast mode, but it's not a slouch of a fragrance. Friday was super hot in England. I thought to myself, I know exactly what I'm going to be wearing today. I need something that's lively, vibrant, fresh. So I went with Neon from the house of Aaron Terence Shoes. This isn't just great for hotter weather. I would class this as a pick-me-up on the colder days or the colder months. It's playful, it's pleasing, it's easy to wear, it's very versatile. Let me just spray it, because the opening of this, right, you've got Italian bergamot blended for the house of Aaron Terence Shoes, sweet orange, grapefruit, lime, pink pepper, pineapple, galbanum, ambroxan, patchouli, sandalwood, vetiver, and white musk. Opens fresh, spicy, and you get an explosion of citruses. The sweet orange to my nose comes first, then boom, in comes the grapefruit, then in comes the lime, and it doesn't come across as tart. it comes across as ever so slightly pulpy and sweet. And then after a couple of minutes, then the pineapple creeps in with the galbanum. So it adds this fruity, semi-green facet. So now the fragrance is citrusy, fruity, sweet, a little bit green. You definitely get the pink pepper, so it is spicy. And then the ambroxan is there, pushing the fragrance. In comes this woodsy nuance. And this fragrance does have an earthy side to it, like not full on earthy, but in the mid, once it gets to the mid and then starts really drying down, I get this earthy facet that comes through on my skin. But remember, you've got the patchouli, plus you've got the vetiver, but this is woodsy, musky, sweet. It's just a pleasing fragrance, smooth, well crafted, like all these fragrances are. And Friday, I had to rock this fragrance. I was like, yeah, I'm wearing you today. And when I put it on, I was like, makes your mouth water. The citruses, when this opens up, makes my mouth water. And that is Neon from the House of Aaron Terran Shoes. Little stunner. Right, Saturday. Saturday, I uploaded a reel. And my scent of the day was Acqua di Gio Parfum from Giorgio Armani. I'd done 12 sprays around my neck. And I've done 2 sprays on my arm. And I will tell you about the longevity in a minute. Right, this is fresh, clean, aromatic, aquatic. You've got marine notes, bergamot, rosemary, clary sage, patchouli, geranium, frankincense. So it opens aquatic, clean, semi-sweet. You get some woodsy undertones. It's got a little bit of a green tinge to the fragrance. And then once you start getting into the dry down, that frankincense starts showing its face, giving this a little bit of an incensey vibe while staying fresh. This fragrance is aromatic and fresh through and through. And it is a pleasant fragrance, but it just doesn't last on my skin. I had someone comment saying, I think when I done the review on this, saying that I speak nonsense because a lot of other YouTubers who have reviewed this say that they get 9, 10 to 12 hours out of it. I mean, for a freshie, really? And with 12 sprays around my neck, after about 5 hours in, I got a couple of people to smell my neck, who obviously I know. I didn't just walk up to a stranger. But a couple of people who I know, I said, smell my neck. They said, we can't hardly smell it on your skin, but it's radiating a little bit off your t-shirt. So that was with 12 sprays. And then the 2 sprays that I'd done on my arm lasted about 4 to 4.5 hours. So I don't know if it's my skin, but I definitely ain't going nose blind to it. And with 12 sprays, I got about 6 hours out of it. And it was faintly on my t-shirt. So Saturday I rocked this because it was humid, and this is Acqua di Gio Parfum. I'm not knocking this fragrance. It is a nice scent. It just don't perform for me. And Sunday, it was a little bit more breezier outside. Still a little bit humid in the morning, but there was a little bit of breeze and I needed some spice in my life. And I went with this gem. This fragrance that I'm about to talk about is worth the money and some. It is coming from the house of Lataffa and it is Nasheed. This smells very, very, very similar to this fragrance. Nishane's Annie. There is differences. And this is, I'm not going to do a comparison side by side, but if you like Nishane Annie and you enjoy that scent profile, you will enjoy this fragrance. Let me just spray it. One thing, the cap is so loose on this bottle, look, it doesn't even, it just slides, look, it's just, so never try and pick this up from the cap. Or I don't know if it's just my bottle, but look, it don't do nothing, it just falls off. Not a bad atomizer, but Lataffa have done such a great job with this scent. Right, you've got guaiac wood, nutmeg, sandalwood, incense and cashmeran. I get ginger straight off the bat. I get this zingy ginger with spice. and there's no ginger listed in the note breakdown. Plus, straight off the bat, I get vanilla. So it opens up zingy, spicy, vanillic, sweet. And then after a couple of minutes, this fragrance starts turning creamy. So in comes the sandalwood mixing in with the vanilla. But like I say, there's no vanilla listed in this fragrance. I also get some balsamic touches with this. And it does turn ever so slightly like incensey. Once it's dried down, I do get a touch of incense in this fragrance. So I don't know what's going on with the note breakdown that I've found, but ginger's not listed, vanilla's not listed, the incense is listed, but I don't know. I looked on a few different places and the note breakdowns were basically all similar. So I don't know what's going on. Right. This does open full on, full-bodied, I would say, but once it gets to about the hour and a half mark, Nasheed starts going a little bit flat, whereas Nishane Annie stays full-bodied all the way through the fragrance. Everything sort of keeps up. All the notes in Annie, you get them through the whole life of the fragrance, whereas Nasheed, that spiciness calms right down, the ginger calms right down, and like I say, it runs a little bit flat after about an hour and a half. You still get the creamy vanilla, and you, like I say, you get the incense, and you do get a woodsy nuance, and I do get a balsamic touch. But for the price, this is worth the money. This is not bad by any means. The quality is obviously going to be different, because this, as it is an expensive niche fragrance, whereas this is a clone, but this still has great quality, and this is worth the money. It really is. Like, I haven't been rocking Nishane Annie because now I can save it for special occasions, and I can get the scent profile from this fragrance. Like I say, if you enjoy the scent profile of Nishane Annie, you will not be disappointed in this. I think it's about £40 in the UK, and it is worth that and some. Right, people, thank you for sticking with me. 7 great fragrances. Like I say, I'm not dissing Acqua di Gio Parfum. It just, scent profile's nice. It's a nice smelling, easygoing, versatile fragrance. It just doesn't last on my skin, and I'm not going nose blind to it because people around me turned around and said that, nah, I can't hardly smell it either. So, right, people, remember, smelling good's always a pleasure and never a chore. Drop a comment down below which ones you have tried out of these 7. Let me know if you've tried this bad boy. If you have, let me know what you think of it. Right, people, I will see you on the next one. Cheers.